Yo, it's Thursday night. Game time, you know it's gonna be tight. Welcome to the show, it's the place to be. Get your popcorn ready, let's set the scene. Yo, James on the mic, bringing heat to the stage. Got Kevin Bryan with that tactical gauge. Analyzing plays, breaking it down. In the world of MFL, we're rocking this town. Bob and Sid, trophy shining bright. Standing side by side, ready for the fight. Squads lined up, battles about to ignite. When the whistle blows, we'll shine through the night. The good brings the glory, hey. The bad holds the pain, hey. The ugly shows the struggle, hey. But we still love the game, hey. From the highs to the lows, hey. It's a hell of a ride, hey. In this game of life, we stand side by side. SR Monkeys here, co-host with the plan. His insight's undeniable, got the fans demand. When it comes to trophies, few compare. In the League of Champions, we're all laid bare. Analyzing stats while sipping on some brews. With the mics live, we're dropping straight news. From the chaos on the field to the cheers in the stands, we dissect every play, that's how this fam stands. Yeah. The good brings the glory, hey. The bad holds the pain, hey. The ugly shows the struggle, hey. But we still love the game, hey. From the highs to the lows, hey. It's a hell of a ride, hey. In this game of life, we stand side by side. So grab your seats, it's time for the show with laughter and insight. We're ready to go to the final score. We'll break it all down. There's always more in store. James, Kevin, Bryan, the crew's in sync. When we're talking MFL, you won't need a drink. Just sit back, relax, enjoy the play call. Together in the game, we're united, standing tall. The good brings the glory, hey. The bad holds the pain, hey. The ugly shows the struggle, hey. But we still love the game, hey. From the highs to the lows, hey. It's a hell of a ride, hey. In this game of life, we stand side by side. So tune in every Thursday, don't forget the time. With the good, the bad, the ugly, we're in our prime. James on the mic, bringing fire every week. In the world of MFL, it's the thrill that we seek.
Hello and welcome to this week's episode of The Good, the Bad and the Bloody Ugly. Hope you like the intro. Hope the sound is working, everything. I was like flying by the seat of my pants creating that today. Hamez put the audio together. I did the video earlier trying to do it and I literally ran out of time, but it was definitely fun doing it. And now I've got all those bits. I can create all kinds of stuff as well. But yeah, no, it was good. Alan Shearer looked good in the intro. Yeah. The people on the good, the bad, and the ugly thumbnail just don't look anything like them. I mean, I do a bit, but it's probably only because I've got the hat covering me. Andrew did a little bit, but yeah. We're waiting on one more person. I don't know. I thought it was Bryan this week, but I'm reliably informed it might not be Bryan this week, but we may have someone coming in the not too distant future anyway. So before we move on, anyway, I'll just welcome everyone to the stream. And we've got Kev in there. Kev's doing the easy option today. He's doing the viewing. Bob, we've got Jimbo up at delays. We weren't that late, honestly. But yeah, AndrewQ, Dan, LFC, and Ricky Hyde. Banger of an intro. We need more trains, though. For fuck's sake. It took me I could have put trains together, Ricky. It would have taken me like 3 hours less. But yeah, the track, obviously, thanks to Hamez. But yeah, we joined this week. We've got Hamez in the chat. We've got Hamez here. We've got AndrewQ, and we've got Bob, aka Orange Fly. AndrewQ, how are you?
Doing well. Glad to be back here.
Nice, yeah. Bob, how are you, sir?
Doing great. Looking forward to the season, man. Fun first day. Wild first day.
Yeah, it was definitely a wild first day. And Hamez, the host of the show. How are you, sir? You were showing me your phone just before we started, and it was like it literally was the middle of the night. So big props to you for putting up.
Yeah, it'll be nice and dark, I think, outside. We'll be check. We can check outside. Yep.
It's still Australia. I'm not sorry for you that much.
You can tell me any time of day and I believe you. I have no idea what time it is over there.
Well, yeah, we're just past 5 in the morning, but nice and early. But my God, I'm tired. And I'm missing half my games because for some reason they kick off at like 4 o'clock now. I think my first game kicks off at 3:30. Yeah, first game was at 5 to 4 in the morning.
When are you coming back to the UK?
Like 7 weeks. So 7 more
At
shows
the
of
end of the
pain, and
season,
then
then.
yeah, I'll be the start of next season. So yeah, trying to deal with transfers of players whilst on a plane is going to be entertaining. But yeah, it's been
Goes all that.
like, how have you been, David?
Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, Tommy's been giving me a bit of jip, but season started okay. I've got absolutely 2 of the hardest games in gold to start the season. Playing Big Wilbur, who's got an ultimate in gold, but I managed to get a 0-0 draw out of that. Got another tough game tonight versus Ronan, and then it gets a little bit easier, like 90 average easier rather than sort of like 92 average. So yeah, I was happy to take a point last night and won with all my important teams. So yeah, decent start to the season. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, it went all right. I won with the delegated team from Sid, which was the main thing, beating Kev 2-0. I woke up just before it kicked off, and Sid had messaged to like the group that we're in, being like, "Where's the tactics? Where's the captain?" And I'm like, I thought I'd done it. Like, I thought I'd done it, but it's that early. I might have missed and just forgot to put a captain was the main issue. But
That does.
I don't watch the game.
Just quickly, I was going to normally check my teams in the hours before we they start, but obviously I was busy this evening, so I better check, make sure I have got captains on everybody. That's the one thing I often forget.
I didn't have captains on, I think, 3 of my teams yesterday. So, whoops. But yeah, the games went all right, I think. Started off with like the preseason tournaments. Ghosted through the 92 rated overall one with the Ramble, I think, with Sid's team. Didn't lose a game, so went 9-0-0. So that was entertaining. Beat Hamburg Harmony, flat side, the other ones. But I don't have that team for the league, which is a shame. Sid stacked it with 92s. And I woke up for the first league game with like 8 inbox messages going like, your cancel request has been accepted. Your cancel request has been accepted. Your contract request has been accepted. I'm like, I didn't say anything. But yeah, from a 92 to like,
when do you reckon they'll update that? Because the UI for the UX at the moment for delegated clubs is a bit wonky, isn't it? It's quite difficult, like seeing like spoilers on games and all kinds of stuff like that. Do you think they're waiting now until they've done the complete like user experience interface, like the UI for the whole like site that changes?
yes, you assume it's the UI. Like a lot of stuff will change with the UI, but Yax has said in Discord and stuff that getting anti-spoil for delegated clubs is actually quite difficult because you don't own the team.
But not impossible, Yax. Nothing is impossible.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how they get around it. Because if you're not there for the matches kicking off, you miss. Like you just see the result. Which, for me, I wake up and just see the results because I get up early, but not that. That's too early for me for some of the games.
It's strange. This is my first year with delegated clubs, and so yesterday, I missed. There was no alert for one of the have a team in ice that's Ricky Hyde's. So I was waiting around for the game to start. I missed the start of it. I went back and just didn't even realize it had happened. And I had to go and like look deep into my schedule, past events, and then see the score there. So not having the alert, not having it show up on the main my HQ page, it's like it doesn't even exist. It just gets pushed to the back, which is it's a strange disconnect from the way every other club is presented on the page.
Yeah, it literally becomes like I click on the team and like try and hide the table and just see the color. Does it pop up green? Does it pop up red? Does it pop up grey?
That's what I was doing last season, but the trouble is the color, isn't it? If it didn't have a color, then you'd be okay. You're trying to squeeze your hand over it just until you can see it and then click it.
But yeah, so it's like, it turns out to basically just if it's green, I'll watch it. If it's red, I'll be sad and not watch it and just imagine it didn't exist. But
what about you, Bob? How did your season start? Like, obviously, like Diamond last night was the game. Like the game I hate to see. I love to see it and I hate to see it. like you versus Sid to start the season. It felt like a potential title decider early on, and it was all over the shop. But good game for you anyway.
The game was pretty epic, wasn't it?
It was,
I mean,
yeah.
that's the type of game that it was the first match of the season, but we're going to look at it, and it might be the most competitive, fun diamond match we're going to have the entire season. It was just wild. So I don't know. I was surprised that Sid came out in a 3-4-3 against me. And I don't know. I feel like if you want to go 3 at the back against my team, which I very clearly said, all I'm going to do is attack you. So good luck. I'm just like, okay. So there's going to be some goals scored in this one. So,
Yeah,
and it was.
Fun game. Great seeing Brian and Kev winning as well.
Yep. It was a good start, though. And, a lot of matches. Got a couple teams that are delegated to me this season. So trying to figure those bad boys out. It's been fun.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Yeah.
But I have a question for you guys, though. So, Hamez, you mentioned it before with the preseason tournaments. Did you guys send any of your higher level guys down to fill teams and stack those teams up for the preseason tournaments?
I didn't know. I mean, I completely forgot one of the preseason's cup was starting, even though there are bloody cups. I forgot they were starting, so I forfeited one of the games. It was just a bit of a nightmare because I was so focused on testing the engine rather than like looking at preseason cups. And I guess you can use the preseason cup for that, but for me, it was like it was a fun little, side thing, but I wasn't taking them too seriously.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was at too. It didn't feel worth the energy or effort, and then making sure that we had to flip everything back, and I was testing in between, and so I decided not to. The rewards weren't worth it to mess around with it, but it did hamper my testing though, because I did have to dumb down a couple teams to fit under the cap. So then it kind of screwed around with what I needed to do. Like my top team, for example, my best team, I wouldn't be able to run because it has wingers. So I couldn't run a winger formation, which means I was running a 2-striker formation. So then I had to kind of focus on testing that instead of testing the one that I wanted to test. So I did have a couple-day block there where I couldn't quite do what I wanted to.
Yeah.
I only entered the one with Sid because you just released them so early in the morning. They were full by the time I woke up. So
I mean, they were full by the time I tried to enter them as well. I had to get we had to get Yaks or whoever it was to extend them.
See, I have this problem even with a preseason tournament where it doesn't really mean much. This competitive spirit in me, I get so frustrated if I don't win those things. It's like no, and it's really annoying to lose. And I was just like, wait, how is this happening? What is going on? And I remember some team I was playing was just completely sick. I was like, how is this even possible? I'm so confused right now. And I was like, oh, I understand now. Guys getting moved around and switched. I was like, okay. But I like the preseason tournaments. I like the fact that they had multiple between, there was like 12 total tournaments that went through or something like that. And it's something that we've talked about a lot on other shows. Just the larger sample size you can get of matches with people involved is so much better for the engine. And so I was really excited about it. So
yeah, 100%. Kev organised them for the last couple of seasons, and he did a terrific job making sure that there was one in there for everybody.
Yeah,
it's nice now, because before I think a lot of people would stack their teams, or when there were fewer of them, it'd be tough to compete in some of them. But now it's having that 3 OBR gap basically allows you to put in every team. I have 11 teams this season, and I was able to get 10 of them in. There was one that I couldn't really find a place for, so I picked the one that I think needed the least preseason help in terms of just seeing how they play. So the fact I had 10 tournaments going on was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that whoever has the highest tournament, it was 95 OVR this season, I think it just should be unlimited, in my opinion. Just that way you don't get people moving around. I would love to use Beckman in a tournament like that. Never again, obviously. But I don't think there's any point otherwise. If your cap is 95, might as well be 99, because there's only a couple people above that anyway. But
yeah, no, I think a couple of other people told Kev that as well. I think next season, one completely uncapped one should be but yeah.
That'd be fun. I don't know. Honestly, though, and I mean, Hamez and I were talking about this a little while ago. Like the lower leagues and lower levels are so incredibly fun. And I was actually spending more time with my Spark team and my Stone team watching those tournaments because it's just exciting. I don't know, something about it. And, you know, part of it for me is obviously like hometown appeal in like where my family comes from. So that's awesome. But still, I pay more attention to these lower games. I'm having more fun and entertainment from watching the lower league games because they're intense. And sometimes they're 7-6 and sometimes they're 1-0. So yeah, good times.
Where's the Syracuse team now? Where's your hometown team?
They're in silver
Silver
right now. Yep. They won their first match, so that was good.
In fact,
That was good.
Are they in a silver team with me? No.
I don't think so.
No, I'm in one with Chennai Super Kings and Retro Degens, but that's the one I've looked completely min loaded.
No, I'm definitely not in with Super Kings. So
Yeah.
I don't want to be facing Sid in anything this season other than Diamond. So I struggle. Like Sid is the person I struggle with the most. Like I can beat him in the regular season, but as soon as we get to a cup elimination or something like that, I have no chance. And I mean, Hamez probably heard a lot of our chat going back and forth this off season. Like there were probably like 15 straight matches where Sid was just bombing me left and right. I couldn't do anything. And if you look at my friendlies, like there are just strings of me not winning a single match against Sid and Ronan. And of course, that's who I start the Diamond season off with. Like, well, good times.
But
So,
Sid
yeah.
in the chat saying Syracuse is a plat level team in silver.
Yeah, probably. That's they're not even the top team in silver though. I think they're like projected third.
No, they might be now because I think Sid's CSK team were above you.
Gotcha.
But that was for the preseason tournament. So like I had a 92 left mid and 92 goalkeeper.
Gotcha.
Now I've got an 84 left mid and an 82 goalkeeper. So very much like reduced them down.
Yeah, that team is strong. I mean, like I said, the goal for that team, kind of like what Dio's doing with his US Abe team in Platt, is get that team, your hometown team, up as high as humanly possible. My issue will be if it ever gets to platinum, do I make that team stronger than Seoul? And
I was going to ask, like at some point you kind of have to, right? Because it's hard to support a competitive diamond team and a plat team that can be promoted, right?
Yeah, because can you imagine that? Like, so if my team wins and gets up to plat, and then wins plat and then gets to diamond, do I delegate Seoul to somebody else? You know, do I give Seoul to somebody else and let them run it? Because I'm not letting anybody else run my hometown team, you know? So long way to go though. And honestly, with the number of retirements that I have, like it's just constant rebuilding and reshuffling of old men getting ready for like the geriatric hospital.
Well, I think Hamez has that on the agenda, doesn't he? This today. So maybe we'll talk about it now. That like the retirements, power creep, and reverse power creep. Like, you know, we're going to reach a point fairly soon. I think in 3 seasons, there's over 20,000 players that retire, and there's less than that coming into the game as it is now. So either like, will MFL use the opportunity to increase packs, like in the pack drops? And do you think the reverse power creep, when do you think that will start to happen?
From my experience playing up in Diamond, what ends up happening, because I mean, like, look at me, Sid, Big Will, Ronan, Dio, like Sturge, everyone has teams all the way down through. So plat, gold, silver. So like we've created this chain, a daisy chain that allows us to progress guys through the system, advance our teams, and then play all the way through. So what you're seeing now is that those higher teams, they're looking like semi-diamond teams, semi-platinum teams, because there's not room in our top teams. But as guys retire, those lower teams are going to start getting weaker too. So you're talking about reverse power creep, David. And the top teams are going to start getting weaker. I mean, we already see it with Seoul. I mean, I can't replace, a 98 and 2 97s. Like it's impossible.
And even if you use players in your agency to replace them, then like the other subsidiary teams within your empire, like Kev's, the Amigos and Fiora, they're going to get weaker, and there's going to be other weak teams in Diamond.
Yep. Because what I think part of the power creep that we're seeing, and Andrew, I know that you're playing at a higher level too, and you're seeing a lot of people like me and Big Will in different matches. But I think part of what we're seeing is that because our teams are loaded up top, our other talent is falling down because there's not a place for them at the levels that they really should be playing at. So that's why Sid says my silver team is a platinum level team. So they're falling down, but that's just not going to happen anymore. In a couple of seasons, my entire soul team is gone. And everyone's going to be around what top end plat teams are right now, which is kind of wild. And what you don't get is you don't get a lot of ultimates that are created newly every single season. I'd be really curious if somebody just like pulled how many cards became ultimate in each season that we go through there. Like maybe it's 5 to 10 in total that actually like jump over and become ultimates and diamond ready. So they're nearly impossible to replace. And that's why I think you're seeing that reverse power. You're going to see, especially amongst the bigger agencies like mine, you're going to see our teams getting weaker as we go down, as we have to push people up.
I think I'd start to see it a little bit in some of my higher level teams. So on the bronze and iron level. So in the past couple seasons, when I've had teams get promoted, what I usually try to aim for, my measuring stick, is the 8th and 9th place and the projection from the end of the previous season. Thinking if I can get my OVR to that level, I at least have a team that should be pretty competitive enough to try to avoid a relegation scrap. And usually that, if I get to that level, it still ends up being a little bit under the 8th or 9th place because of the creep that was happening. The past couple seasons, I feel like it's been stronger than I expected, or about where I expected. And I noticed that most of on Luzutena's bronze team, the past 2 seasons, it's gotten weaker. Like my team has been pretty flat the past 2 seasons, and it's starting off the year higher and higher in the projections. And I'm noticing a couple Stonelings are like that, a couple of the Ironlings are like that. So it's definitely a mixed bag, but it used to just be up and to the right. And I feel like it's at most, at least it's leveling off in some leagues.
Yeah,
I feel like that effect is already starting to take root.
Yeah, it's definitely, you're right. It's definitely not getting worse. And if you're lucky in a lower, like the lower leagues, like ice and stuff like that, you can get away with uncommons in some divisions now, and even high 60 players can do just fine down there. But obviously, you still get the odd league where people have stacked teams. But
yeah, but those stacked teams aren't going to last so long. I mean, just like look at what I gave Hamez last year in Castle. Like 90% of them had some sort of flag on their card, and they're all over like 33 years old. So as a result of that, most of them are retired or in their last season now. So I couldn't fill a team. So I had to sell Castle. And I think you're seeing some of that. Like the reason that some of my teams on the lower end are still decently strong is because I've chosen to sell the teams as opposed to try to fill the teams. And I think a lot of the larger agencies are going to have to make that decision as they go through, or they kind of do what Scrub does and just leave them there and just let them generate and get relegated as they go through. So,
yeah. How have you dealt with it, Bob? Because obviously at the top you've been hit hard. How at the end of every season, how are you dealing with having to generate sort of new players, like sort of replace them?
To do it, like I have the plan, right? But the worst day in the world for me is obviously rollover day, like everybody else. Like I go down a 5th of whiskey and I'm just like, what's going to happen now? It's just not good. Like this season, I think 6 of my ultimates got the tombstone, which means that in a few seasons, without making massive moves, my agency is going to be at best plat level, at best. And so I think I've said it before that I had a very narrow window to win diamond. So I'm glad I was able to do it. But to really answer your question, Hamez, I have used the MFL to buy other guys that will hopefully get a little progression and push their way up. So I don't know if anybody watched my match yesterday against Sid and Diamond, but my new right mid who replaced Letich retired at 98. His name is Milna, and he ended up scoring twice and was a massive part, probably the player of the match for me. So every now and then you hit a good one that doesn't get the tombstone, and you get them for at least 4 seasons. And that's kind of what I'm looking at. And I'm thinking to myself, do I do the, Roman Abramovich and buy a whole bunch of older guys that used to be superstars or could be superstars and still get a few years out of? How many like Andrei Shevchenkos are still available that are out there that I can use for a season or two? And then just kind of move on from there. And, what we saw, Hamez, is that I moved guys up like Lindemann, who was a platinum level before. He has not picked up a single stat since I packaged him, but he's now starting for Seoul. He started for Seoul last season at 93. And so I'm realizing that certain players are just good enough to do it, no matter where you go. And you have to be a little bit more on your tactics to make it work. So there's no plan other than spending my MFL, really.
So you said you have a plan. So you're obviously looking seasons out and figuring out how your team is shaping up. How much are you looking at other teams in Diamond or other players at that level to try to figure out how that stacks up to how that league is going to evolve?
So I am looking at everyone's team, usually on rollover day, to see who got hit hardest and who's going to be needing to make changes. But if it's someone like Dio, I'm not too worried about Dio losing players because his plat team, I think, is better than most of the Diamond teams right now.
Mm-hmm.
So Dio can fill. And a lot of those other agencies can fill as well. And they're going to demand a high price if I were to buy a card from them. And they don't need the MFL that I'd prefer to use. So I don't consider them options for changes. So what I'm really looking at, Andrew, is I'm looking at making my team as strong as humanly possible and trusting myself to actually do the proper tactics and stay competitive. So there's only so many things I can control. I can't control what anybody else does, but I can buy the players that I think could get there and help me along the way a little bit. And realistically, I think I said, before, this season mid-table finish is like where my team really should be. 4th, 5th is a realistic spot for this team I have now. So, but we hope that guys on my gold team, which are probably good enough for plat, are able to progress a little bit. And I just pray that the progression in gold and silver actually happens. So, I mean, there's not much else you can do really. So
makes sense.
But
where's Cunningham this season?
That's a wonderful question. I think he's with Black Sea and Gold.
So, gold wins diamond, back to gold.
Yep, exactly. Well, so I'm glad you asked that because the reason I put him there is I wanted him starting every single match, right? Because I think I packaged him on one of our streams a few seasons ago, David, at like a 90 or 91 left back.
Yeah.
And he's gone up 2. He's up to 93, and he's the kind of guy that could run in a bit and hit that 95, 96, 97 type of potential. And the only way to do that is to play. And he wasn't going to play. He wasn't going to start for Seoul because Davidson is my left back and he's at 98. So, if I had a plat team, he'd be starting on plat, but I don't. And I didn't want him to be a backup. So that's why he's down there. But like, as you said, Hamez, he's running around with his diamond medal, just showing everybody what it's like to be great.
That's to say, I can claim I've had a guy who's won diamond. So he may have only made like 2 appearances, but it counts.
Yeah. But no, it was big. I mean, he helped me. So I don't think we talk about it some. But with the kind of group that we've been able to put together with delegating teams down and progressing of players, that move that Hamez was able to get Cunningham from 91 to 93 over the course of a couple of seasons. And then I was able to take him at the midseason break, which allowed me to stay in a 4 in the back and run my formations the entire season at Diamond, which normally I've switched to 3 at the backs when I need rotation. And I just didn't have to now. And that was a very key part of allowing me to keep the momentum going forward and playing my 4-3-1-2, my 4-1-3-2, all of those different formations that require fourth back. And I just don't think it gets talked about enough how great that feeder system actually worked for me in this one instance. So
He got 3 assists in his first game as well.
Yep.
So,
you sure did. Sure did. You know, I mean, granted it was against Sao Paulo and he probably should have got like 14 assists, but you know, what are you gonna do?
Yeah, but we don't mention the opponents. We just say 3 assists in his first diamond game, and it sounds
That's
better.
true. But you know what? I think he ended up with like 5 assists on the season, so it wasn't like he was bad. You know,
Yeah.
I think he started every match. Like after I clinched the title, I think he started every match from there too. So he was capable. You know, and it's, I don't know. It was fun to see that happen, but that's the goal with all of these other teams. And it's one of the reasons that like Andrew has one of my brass teams, and I just sent him an 87 left back. Brass teams. I say brass. It's brass boots and iron.
Brass boot, yeah.
or bronze. I don't know. Bronze, yeah. And like I sent him an 87 left back who's like an 87 center back. And I've always put him at center back when I run him a lot of times because he's so fast that he has the pace to really destroy people from that position. Like if he was able to get a few more defensive points pumped into him, he got up to 89 or so, then he's actually plat level capable at CB. So like that's kind of the dream that we all have, but reality is guys don't progress that fast. And I mean, David, I think that you kind of saw that too, you know, with you going to gold again this season, like trying to find your guys and work your guys up through to fill that team in the best way humanly possible.
Takes a long time. No, even if you've got guys that got progression, you know, for them to become useful in a gold team right now, they probably need to be 90 plus. Like to be really like first teamers. Obviously, squad players you can have lower, but yeah, it just takes time. And I think I'm resigned to the fact that for the next couple of seasons, I'll be buying old timers, you know, to fill gaps. And you know, I'm happy doing that. And then eventually, hopefully, the younger guys come through. But that's the plan, anyway.
Well, personally, and I don't know if Andrew, if you do this or Hamez, you do this, but I like the idea of buying the older guys, using MFL or whatever it may be to buy the older guys, because I want my younger guys to be in the tightest bracket of OVRs so that they can progress as well. And if that bracket of players are retiring for me and I don't have them, I want to be able to replace them to continue allowing my younger guys to progress as we go through. And so I've been finding that, number one, it's hard to find players, like you were saying, David. And getting older guys fills a gap. It fills a need that you have in there, and you can make things work with a lot of close attention and management. And I think that people don't talk about it enough, but this game is a time commitment. And I mean, I see all of you guys running friendlies and doing stuff and posting content all the time. It's not just about buying things and just dropping it in there, you know? So
I've gone with that approach as I've started to move up the pyramid. Once I got to about iron, then the players were more expensive. A was what was affordable, and B, I just had a really hard time giving up 4, 5, 6% for a backup right back, right? So it allowed me to fill gaps and not have to spend a lot of MFL that way, and then have those guys progress to be starters while I had newer guys coming in. So I've that's been my Band-Aid every time I've gone up a level, is just to buy those older folks. And then my hypothesis here is try to get as much MFL as I can to get new mints that I keep sticking in there, and just keep buying those older guys as Band-Aids until I filled in that part of the period of my agency enough. It was really thin at the top. So hopefully I can start filling it with guys that are still progressing, and then I can rely less on purchasing the older players in the future.
Personally, I love that approach, Andrew, because like I said, progression is not a guarantee and it takes time. And if you get comfortable buying guys in the like 86 to 89 range, if you're in bronze or silver or wherever you might be playing, if you get comfortable buying players from people that are willing to take MFL deals, that are looking to get those guys that will progress from packs and whatnot, then it's a great way to maintain. And it just becomes your way of doing stuff. And David, you and I have talked about stuff like this on previous MFL podcasts and previous So Rare podcasts, where my kind of idea is get really good at like the one thing you want to do. And in this case, when we're talking about building your teams, it's either getting progressors and understanding that you're not going to be as high up the ladder. You know, you're going to have a lot of guys in the stone, iron, silver range, bronze range that you're going to work to progress, and then you can move them on to keep the flow going. Or use your MFL to spend on big guys that go through there and just hope that you have a little MFL left over to get one guy that might progress. And so I think that
are people too doing deals for purely MFL, so like buying packs with your MFL and obviously then sending to them.
a lot of people are, at least people that I've worked with have been up for it, because they're looking at the monetary value of what MFL is. So if they have somebody listed for $200 and I'm willing to offer them like $230 worth of MFL, they're almost always going to take it, because number one, they can rip a pack, or they can buy a whole bunch of packs and sell them on their own and make more than the actual value of the card that they wanted. And they're willing to put that time in, and maybe they hit somebody that they wanted to, or they want to take a step back and move through. So I think more people than you might imagine are willing to do that. And what you're going to end up seeing too, David, in gold and higher, there are a lot of people with agencies that don't need 92s and 93s, but they have them because those guys progressed or they got them in some way, shape, or form. And a lot of those guys are looking for people in their general range or more MFL. And one way to convince them to make deals is offer them packs with the MFL and say, hey, also, I'll throw in 5% of the team that this guy is going on to for you next season, so you even get more MFL. You get that MFL back again. And that's how I got Hakeem Zayn, who is my starting striker on Soul. And so use your resources in creative ways to get the tools that you want. And usually if somebody is willing to DM you, it usually works out. And I usually start the conversation with like, hey, I know it's not straight cash, but are you willing to make a deal for this guy with MFL?
Does that project forward? Like, does that typically have to be in the next round, or are people willing to take deals that might stagger? You get this much MFL this season, and I'll give you the rest next season. Like, is there a trust that it goes beyond just like the next available reward window?
No, he did that with Zayn's 3-season deal, I think, two season deal,
Yep.
where it's 10% of Iron Pigs for 2 seasons.
Yep.
So,
And I did that just because, like I said, I didn't want to put cash in. And it's not always easy to get those things, but you kind of do it with people that you know and trust. And my selling point is I'm not going to hose you on a deal. I'm not just like, oh, hey, I forgot to do this for you. Tough. You know, like I'm on these podcasts. Like I'm doing these things like one diamond. It does mean no benefits to try to short somebody on money.
Yeah.
Right. Sorry. My printer's going. You can probably hear that. It's horrible. So people are more willing to deal with me is what I'm finding. And I think that all of you have been on a number of podcasts, so they're probably willing to deal with you as well if you're willing to reach out.
Yeah.
And go through there. And so, and there are other people like, so if you look at somebody like Duff just made it to Diamond. He needs MFL. He needs tools to continue pushing through. And I know that buying guys is a great way to do it when you generate the cash. And so if there is somebody that is probably not going to work in one of Duff's teams that you're interested in, and you're willing to offer 50, 100,000 MFL worth of packs that Duff can then sell and get real money, maybe Duff will make that deal. And that's kind of how I approach it. 1 second, I got to step away for a minute.
that's right. I mean, David, how do you cope with like retirements and stuff? Because you're quite not known, but you're quite fond of buying the older Legos and stuff. Like, what's your plan?
I just look at that as like a short-term thing. You know, I don't want to be doing that all of the time, but I realise that a lot of my teams have got promoted far quicker than the progression. has like kept up with it. So I need to bring in sort of high players. Like this season, I've loaned in 3 players across 12 teams. And one of those was like a last minute, someone was just looking for somewhere for a player to go. So I'd rather run a couple of underpowered teams, like I think Funky Monkey this season and Monkey Thunder. Like they're both really underpowered teams that aren't sort of aren't in the mix this season to I just want them relegated. But it's going to be that constant cycle for me. There's no way I could keep getting all of the teams promoted, but because then I'll just be in a ditch one day, like with having to buy like 30 Legos one season to just keep teams up. But what about you, guys? What about you, Hamez? I mean, obviously the players you're buying are on a lot lower scale, so I imagine you've not needed to do any deals where you're sending MFL across. But the same thing applies to you, and the majority of the ecosystem of players are playing at a lower level. So you could probably relate to the deals they do more.
I mean, if you like my recent buys, there's a $1 guy and a $3 guy, and then a $20 winger. But yeah, for because Iron's in quite a difficult situation of you're needing 80+ plays, which it only brings in. If I win the league, I get 25,000 MFL, which isn't even enough for one rare player. So it's very much a try and get the older boys in and kind of struggle. I think my top teams this year are all quite load heavy. I think I've given up probably 40% through all 3 of my main teams, but it came down to, am I wanting to spend $40, $30 a player who hasn't got this tombstone for Belco, or just loan in for 5%? And when you do the numbers, I'd much rather give up 50% rev share than $300, $400 worth of buys for a few seasons. So the power creep that everyone talks about would be quite good to hit Iron. Iron's I would say quite one of the tough, Iron and Diamond are kind of the sticky situation of the player demand is too high for what the rewards give. Like a full set of 80. Yeah, like a full set of 80s is nuts for Iron level.
Hamez, I'm running one of Trust's Iron teams, and he's like, this is my lowest rated, worst Iron team. And the OVR for the team is 80. And it was projected 11th in Iron, which is nuts. I mean, so things have absolutely changed. I mean, I remember when I started, David, and I bought an 83 and an 84 for Iron. You're like, you are so overpowered. There's no reason that should ever be played there. It's no big deal. But that's how it is. And Iron, I think, Iron's a lot harder. I think Iron's one of the most competitive leagues and divisions that you could possibly be in right now, just based on the numbers. And there's a massive jump when you get there too from Stone.
But then that's the thing. I could buy all these people for Iron. If I fluke my way to a promotion, all the people I've got in Iron are not nearly good enough for Bronze. So then I'm in the stage of how many Legos do I want to buy to start a squad? As Andrew will have experienced with his Portuguese mob when they got promoted, the jump from Iron to Bronze is pretty big. But
each one of these felt pretty big because I don't think I appreciated how big of a jump it was, because the bands of OVRs shrink as you get higher. So it felt to me like when you were going from Ice to Stone, that felt like a really big jump, because it was like a good 5 OVR to be competitive, 5 to 6 from Ice to Stone when I was there. And I was looking at the higher divisions and I was like, well, the jump from Bronze to Silver might only be 2. But then you realize, well, how much that progression slows and how much more expensive an 86 rated player is versus an 85 player versus an 84 player. Then you realize just how much that gap is still there, if not bigger, even though the bands are smaller.
Yeah, because obviously this season you've gone out and dropped a you've gone out and splashed some cash on a couple players. Obviously,
partly accidental. So I talked to you about it afterwards. So I was fortunate enough to have gotten like a Visa gift card through work that was sizable, and I was like, all right, I was going to throw this in. So I loaded my Dapper wallet a while back. This was like 2 months ago now. I was like, this will last me a while. So I've been I tried to keep the same rigor in my analysis of players and my willingness to spend. But I was like, this will kind of help me to kind of bolster my bronze team and help me push up. The gap that I've had in my agency for a while now is high-end strikers. Like I've kind of found some moldier guys that kind of got me up to like the bottom iron level, but no one that is strong in iron, certainly no one at the bronze level. And I've had a really, really tough time loaning them in. Like I've just had a very tough time. I think I paid for my starting striker last season in bronze. I ended up finishing in third, and he was like fifth in the scoring table. He was 83 rated, which is low for bronze, and I paid 9% for him. I was like, I can't pay 9% for an 83 rated striker every single season. Like and I found him late in the cycle. It was like a couple of days before the season started. I was struggling, so I had it in my mind where I wanted to buy a young striker that could hopefully get some progression that can stay with me for a while. So I had offers out to a bunch of different players that were kind of in like the 83 to 85 range that were somewhere, 25 or younger. So a couple of them got, offers got rejected. I would send counter offers. One of them got accepted. It was an 83 rated, I think 24-year-old player. And that one I think was for, I want to say it was like for $200. And then that's when you messaged me because you saw it kind of roll through. So I was like, all right, this is great. I needed him. And then like an hour later, before I can go back and look at my other offers, my highest offer that was available in my offer list also got accepted. And I was like, well, shit, there goes the rest of my budget. So that kind of wiped out my Dapper balance. So I'm going to have to be a good boy for
At
the
least
next
you got
several
the
months.
strikers. You got the strikers.
Yeah, so but now I have two strikers. So I was able to get my contract canceled for the striker that I already had on loan going into the season. So now both of them are my two strikers for bronze. So at least I'm set there for a while. And I think even the top guy, if he gets a little bit of progression, I think can even help me if I were to make it into silver. But at least I have like a long period of time for those players. But I was not intending to buy two, and now I'm just kind of strapped for the next few months while I try to make it work.
Yeah. So yeah, always an entertaining one. But yeah, because I think my main
shit moment. Like the first one was like, okay, great. And then the second one happened. And I was like, oh no, I totally forgot that offer was still out there.
you'll just have refreshed, no like go overpaid.
Yeah. So I mean, I was happy with what I paid for him. Like I thought it was because the offer that I had was like maybe 75% of his list price. I didn't think it would be accepted, and it was out there for 4 or 5 days or something like that. It just was. So that's why I wonder if the guy saw that I made a purchase and knew that he had to strike while the iron was hot or something, because it was like within an hour, boom, boom. I was like, oh shit.
So, Andrew, when you're looking to buy something like that or put an offer in, are you looking at the users that own them? Like if you were looking at a card and it's listed, say I list a card, like I feel like you're probably going to DM me, or like somebody like Big Will that will respond that have cards listed, or somebody like that like, are you DMing them to like work on a price and work a deal, or are you sending offers just out there just hoping? Do you know what I mean?
If I know the person, I'll send a DM. The majority of the people that I've been targeting in my offers over the past couple of months tend to be from people that I haven't had pre-existing relationships with.
Yep.
So then I usually just try to play the counter offer game and kind of start low and see what they say. And a lot of times it dies pretty quickly. There are some users that I know the pattern of what they typically do with their player sales. Buy low, sell high. It's purely like a trading event for them to try to maximize their profits. So those I tend not to reach out unless there's been a couple times where there might be a player where they've been trying to sell for a while and I can see that they've been adjusting the price. That's usually when I go to strike. Like if I see them drop even like $1, it's like, all right, I know they're starting to get antsy, then I'll go and reach out to them. But for the most part, there's certain users that I know are not going to budge below a certain threshold just based on the way that they sold players before. And those I typically don't bother trying to reach out to strike deals there. It also depends how desperate I am. Like I try not to put myself in a position where striker was the first one. It was a very big need. Usually I'm not in a position where I really have a strong need. So I'm targeting players that are more opportunistic, that I know are going to help me in the long run or help satisfy a certain temporary need. But I try not to put myself in a place where I need to go out and just blast offers and desperate to make a deal.
Yeah. So do you have a list of these users that are not going to budge, that you need to send? Like, do you have a list somewhere? Because I know that we have just general watch lists right now, but I'm wondering, based on what you said, if it would behoove you or the team to build the option to create multiple watch lists with different titles and stuff like that.
I
So you
would
can have
love
an
that.
identify those people. What's that,
I would
Dave?
love that, yeah.
would
Because
love
some of
that,
my watch lists
100%.
are for just players I'm watching for progression purposes or friends players or something, and then there's the players I'm targeting to buy or players that I'm targeting to see if they're going to get listed. I wish there was more, filters to be able to break apart that list. I don't have a list of the people that or the other players. When you say players, are you talking about MFL players or like the other agents who are listing
Like
players?
the other MFL player agents. So like I would
Yeah.
love to be able to have a list of MFL agents that I know are going to take MFL in a
Yeah.
deal. Do you know what I mean? If I had a better way of organizing them within the game itself, because I have my own spreadsheets and stuff like that, but it feels like double documentation at times, and I would rather do something within the app itself as opposed to outside.
Yeah. That would be great because sometimes I put players on watch lists to be able to that I might be targeting in the future, but I want to see what their progression looks like.
Yeah.
And you can't do that in the marketplace. So being able to load up a watch list kind of bypasses that, but you can only have so many before it just gets unwieldy on the watch list. Yeah.
That's the problem I have. When the watch list gets so big, I end up just deleting them, or I've forgotten why I've put them on there.
Why they're there. Yeah.
Like, as you said, Bob, if you could name different watch lists, like, progression watch list or watch list of, agents that will take MFL deals, or different ones. Yeah, no, I think that was a great idea.
Yeah. Just to make the end user experience a little bit better, streamlined, because I used to do watch lists for progression. And then to your point, David, I looked at it the other day. I was like, who are these guys?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
When did I put it in there? Like, I'm like, I wasn't expecting to have like an 82 center back that's really slow and 5'1" on my watch list. Like, that sounds like something I would have done in like the first week I was in the game, and I didn't understand how things work. You know what I mean? So, yeah. But I don't know. It's one of those things. And then after you make your teams and you're looking through, how do you? So it sounds like you have that group of players that you have, and then you have a bunch of teams that are generally, a lot of people have teams in the same relative range as far as divisions go. Andrew, Hamez, do you guys ever mix and match your players, test some things out, and then move players around based on what you think your team needs? Like, how in depth do you get with your team build in a preseason like this? It's like, you need a left mid here, so this guy's gonna go here, sort of thing.
Andrew, you want to go first?
Yeah, for me personally, my teams have been pretty linear. So I tend to go from the top down and build out the teams and the formations that make sense. So anytime that there's any overlap in OVRs, it's because that high OVR player just doesn't fit into the squad with the formation that's built. So I'll drop them down. Now there's starting to be a bit of a congregation of teams in like the stone to iron range. And I still try to stack them from top to bottom, but they run different formations. So like my two iron teams this year, one's a winger based one and one's a 4-1-2 and 2 wide. So there isn't too much overlap aside from maybe the striker and then the back four. So I've tried to keep those relatively consistent as they moved around, and the formations are different enough that I haven't had to make too many decisions of, well, where might he fit better. But generally speaking, like my forward pair for my second iron team, it's two players that are 78 rated, which is low for iron, but they both have really good stats, like 80 plus pace, 80 plus shooting, 80 plus physical, and the OVRs are low because their passing sucks basically. So those they've been a pair for a while now. I had it set. I'm going to keep them a pair. They're going to grow together. It's going to be great. We'll see if it works out for that iron team. But generally speaking, I don't trial and error too much to fit teams, because I kind of just I remember having this conversation with Kev Hurd once, where it's like, if you have two teams at the same level, do you try to make them relatively equal, and that way you can kind of friendly against each other, and or do you just stack one and then the other? And I have a hard time stacking one and not the other, or I have a hard time making them equal because I'm always shooting for progression. I'd rather shoot for progression with one and shoot for survival with the other than have two teams that are just like mid-table every single time. So I want to progress them.
Yep, makes sense.
I mean, I build them by going goalkeeper. This guy here, this guy here, this guy here, this guy here. Right back, this guy here, this guy here. No thought goes into it, and then I go, who am I missing? Who am I like for the lower teams? Who am I missing? Like if I'm missing a left back, right back, I'll go out and just buy one for $1 and go. If I get 4 seasons, I get 4 seasons, easy enough, and kind of work my way up. And then it panics when it hits stone and iron, and I'm like, right, I don't have enough for one team. I've got 2. Who do I know that would just bombard me with players? So I think I hit up work the space for one of them, and I think you've got like 7 players at 4% each from him, and I'm just like, I'll have him, I'll have him, I'll have him, I'll have him, and he's like, yep, take him. But
Yeah.
I mean, like wide mids are still an issue for me. I don't have any, but I can't justify buying them because they're too expensive. Like I'm not spending 10k MFL on 2 seasons in iron. Like it's not worth the hassle. So
No, I get that. I'm glad to you bring those things up because I know that with you running 4-3-3-A a lot and using wingers a lot, I always wonder, and I wondered last season, it doesn't sound like you do, but like the way I process it is that when we do all the testing preseason, we know if it's going to be a pacey dribble cutback kind of meta versus a crossing kind of meta. And I try to get the right wingers that will do those things better on my teams. It's why you see with Soul that my wingers change almost every single season based on what I think the engine is going to be. Do you do anything like that, or is it just you got the guys, you put them in, and like you're not at that level where you need to do that?
yep, it's who do I have? And you can go there. Who's available for me on loan? You can go there.
Yeah.
Like for the tactics or engine talk, if we discussed it earlier, I've messaged David asking if he wants to lead it because I think I played 5 preseason friendlies. I think through like every team, I spent more time on GeoGuessr than I did playing MFL. So it's
And I've noticed you've lost 2 games. One of your the league that I'm in, you lost the opening 2 games of the season.
which ones? The Ruse. I
Yeah.
think.
So maybe
No,
more
they're not.
next season.
Yeah, I mean, they're not the strongest team. Like I'm just kind of chucking it in. But I think the guy I played, I think I've played 2 strong. I think I've played 2 quite strong boys, or one. I think the guy I played today was quite strong, but also could do with them getting relegated because I have more ice than spark, and that's not ideal. Like,
Yeah.
I don't need 4 ice at the moment. Yeah.
I like talking about the wingers because I don't use them as much. I know you do a lot, Hamez. Andrew, I've watched your games with Brass Boots. I love watching your 4-3-3 kind of approach because there are right now, I think you have an 82 left wing and like an 87 right wing. And they do 2 completely different things. Like that 87 right wing that you have isn't the biggest goal scorer, but he wins the playmaker award a lot. Like he passes and crosses. Whereas the 82 left winger, he's got like 94 shooting and he just hits rockets and scores goals, even though he's like 5 eye levels lower than where most of the rest of the team is. And I like that duality that you have there. And your games are fun to watch. Yesterday, that game was insane. Like, I don't know how you go up. Like, how are you better than a team when you're playing even? You're 5-3 better, and then they get a red card, and you are the worst team by far, and you concede 2 goals. That was such a bipolar match, kind of like my match with Sid. But yeah,
it was very bipolar. I think I went down, took the lead. He took the lead again. I just kept scoring. I was up 5-3, got the red card in like the 73rd minute or something, and then for the rest of the match, he was in control. Like every highlight was him down a player, down 2 goals, scoring and then scoring again. And then like last in extra time or in stoppage time, there was another highlight going in his favor. I was like, I cannot fucking lose this game. There's no way I can lose this game. This would be absolutely ridiculous. So yeah, it's been fun, and that 82 left winger is great. Like he's 82, which is on the lower end for that team. But in my mind, he's one of my best players because he has 94 shooting and he performs so well.
He was one of the first cards I bought. He was on my first Iron team ever, and he smashed. And I was like, this guy is a stud. He's going to easily run the Lego. He's gotten one OVR improvement in like 9 seasons. He's probably like 34 at this point. And his name is George Sim. And I remember speaking with David about it, like the first podcast I ever did. And I was like, these guys are awesome. I love them. And still that card, you know, I'm going to steal him back at some point and give you a better guy. But he just he shoots well. Like he's the guy that I always wanted on PKs and, you know, direct free kicks and everything. So,
yeah. It's been a fun team.
You lose that love for players over time then if they're like, they don't progress, or do you still have that like soft spot for them?
Yeah, you do. I mean, you stop paying as much attention to them, right? Yeah. Like Andrew's got him now. Like I don't think I've actually used him on a team in a while because I know he's not progressing. He's on teams that I've loaned out, or he's a loanee that has gone through there. But I love watching him play. He's one of the cards that, even though he's not on one of my teams that I run, I will still filter by my players for the matches, and I'll watch his matches to see if he's starting and playing. It's just, I don't know, something about it. We have these weird connections with random players on teams. So but he's not Beckman, but what are you going to do?
There's a player that I talked about, I think on Ryan's podcast, of just someone that had Infinity 4 was one of the first cards that I had. He shot up really quickly, helped me to win Spark in my first season, and then he just leveled off really quickly. And I've loaned him out to a friend in the past couple seasons, and he got his retirement symbol last season. So now it's in his second to last season, and I brought him to a nice team, and now I'm just having him just kind of run roughshod there because I want him to go out, you know, have a good last couple seasons because he served me so well for so long.
Yeah, there's this intrinsic part of you that wants your guys that are your favorites to go out with wins, to go out with trophies and stuff like that, and so. I don't know. It's why I really want to win. I want to win some sort of trophy with Beckman this season. Like logically, that makes sense. He's only going to get like 12 games. So can he score enough goals in 12 games to hit that point? No, but I don't know. There's a lot of goals in this engine.
So, have you won the Titans Cup yet?
No, that's an important one. That one actually seemed more realistic than Diamond this season for me. But I don't know. I'm also not great in cups. I don't think I've won a cup since season 8. And I just don't play well for whatever reason. It may be that I'm similar to Andrew. And like, I just want progression. And by progression, I mean promotion instead of focusing on the cup. So I'm not usually putting out my strongest teams when we get there. Or I end up playing Sid early and Sid just beats the heck out of me in a head-to-head elimination match. And inevitably, for Titans, you're going to have to beat somebody like Sid, me, Ronan, Big Will, like Dio. It's not like any of these games are easy wins. So,
yeah, 100%.
Yeah. Do you have a plan for Beckman for this year in terms of how you're going to use him, or it's more of just keep putting him out there when he's fit? Like, are you going to try to prioritize Cup with him or anything like that?
No. It's when he can play, he'll play. Like, so he went down 2. So he went down to 98. After his first match with the Tombstone.
He will never be 100% again, Bob, unless you don't play him for like 6 games on the trot.
You know, I mean, he's German. Like, he could get there. But, I'm going to pick and choose the games he plays. Like, in my eyes, the first match of the season against Sid was a match of 2 teams, was a matchup with a team that a lot of people are picking to win Diamond. Beckman has to play in that match, right? Games against Ronan and specific people, like I'm going to use him for those matches. But there are other games I don't think I need him as much. And honestly, I brought in Zine, who is one of the slower forwards and strikers in the game up top in Diamond. But man, he is always in the right spot. Always. He scored the first goal of the season for me. He's a fantastic player. And one thing I did do, and this is kind of weird, is that I dropped Turto and I dropped McLeod, who I used to have my great season last season. I replaced McLeod with Zine. I think Zine is an upgrade over McLeod. And then I replaced Turto with Renaud, who Kev had been using for many seasons. But Renaud has 99 pace. He is a Beckman light type player. So my thinking was, if I'm running 2 strikers and I'm going to be using Zine a lot, I want somebody that is more similar to Beckman running with Zine the entire time. So I don't have to change a lot of what I'm doing.
Yeah.
So it's wild to think that I have legitimately lost probably 6 or 7 players from that team last season that I used.
I suspect Beckman will be playing tonight, won't he?
What's that?
I suspect Beckman will be playing tonight.
I mean, there's a high probability that he plays against Ronan. Yeah. So I don't even know. I have to set my formations and stuff like that. I always thank you for the reminder, because I would have inevitably forgotten to change my lineup and then would have went in with a dummy 4-3-3 false 9 that I have no intention of ever using, which would be really bad.
The fact that he dropped 2 fitness is nuts. My red tombstone's on 90% after 2 games.
In the first drop from 100 though is usually smaller. Like even for non tombstone players, like it goes from 100 to 99, but then it starts skipping like 2 or 3 from there.
And obviously physical rating as well. Beckman's physical is what, 99?
It's 99, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Be a good case study there.
You might even get like 14 games out of it if you have a cup run. But
yeah, I mean, we're gonna test it out. Like it's a good test run for how much a 99 physical guy goes down in one season. And I mean, if anyone's gonna go down slow, it's this guy, right?
Yeah.
So
this is when you're sad that the stats and all that are public, because you're doing everyone's dirty work in Diamond, seeing red tombstones will play how many games.
Yeah, I mean that's actually it. I mean, it's true. Like no matter what we do, it's just kind of where we are and what we have to do essentially. And it's a good example of what you can do. I mean, I don't know how many matches Ledich had last season, but I think Ledich was around like the 14 range or so. I could probably look it up because, it's the internet. So, yeah, I don't think it's going to be as bad as we think, though, honestly. And I think that if you are careful with how you're doing it, you can actually you can use it to your best advantage, basically. You have to pick and choose where you're going to go and how you're going to space things out, because I've used the cup runs to rotate a lot of guys. So there is a 100% probability that Beckman will not be used for a single cup match until we get to like the semifinals or quarterfinals. Like there's no need for him, especially if we're still fighting for the title in time. So, and it's prioritizing what you want. And I mean, I'll probably run Beckman into the ground by the end of the season, but that's okay. Got to use them while you can. Never going to get them again. So
when do the cups come out? It's tomorrow, isn't it? Does the transfer window close tomorrow, or is it Saturday?
It's tomorrow, yeah. So usually, I bet by midday my time tomorrow it'll be out.
They're probably with the back ends they've got now. They do tend to get the leagues, and I imagine the cups will be out fairly rapidly. But it's going to be fun
this evening. It should all be done by this evening, I think.
You stop confusing me with your Australia time,
Transfer window closes in 13 hours, so it'll be 7 at night. So what? 10 in the morning UK time. Yeah.
Did we have some business getting done in the chat? I was just looking through, and who have we got in there? Slippery Fish was in the chat earlier. Dan LFC, and Sorry Lab was looking to get some deals done. Did he manage to get the deals?
Yeah. Kev sold some packs.
Nice.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I was reading the chat, and I think Sid had a really good idea. So we talked earlier about like what my plan was and how I use MFL to like buy packs and then trade them. If there was a way to make deals possible with MFL, and they use MFL as a currency to pay in your offers, like that would be amazing. If I was able to just pay the MFL so people could use the MFL at their leisure, that would be so much better, because I've definitely made deals in the past with Scrub, specifically for McLeod, where I ended up buying like 250 common packs and opening them all and then putting them in the dev center and then floating them. And it took days to get it done. And I thought my eyes were going to bleed. I was like, I don't want to be in Diamond if I have to do this every single season.
This is a bit funky, isn't it? Do you think what I'm trying to think? What would be the downsides for MFL of people being able to trade MFL?
I feel like there has to be some sort of legal reason why you wouldn't do it, right?
But they don't get their 5% cut, right? If it's a cash transaction.
Yeah, but they're not getting 5%, like, because people are doing off-chain transactions, all kinds of things to like.
But if that would incentivize or make it easier to transact without cash, I guess. Yeah, I mean, it's still going to happen, but I would think that they would have fewer cash transactions if it was more easily available to trade with rewards.
And would technically doing that consider MFL a true currency? And then there would be issues with it being considered a true currency in exchange.
Oh, I have no
as
idea.
Packs or items versus, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it has to be an token for it to fall under, and it's not an actual token, is it? It's just a number on the side.
Yeah, because I mean, I can guarantee you that the British government would find a way to make it illegal in gambling in some way, shape, or form if they did that.
I remember seeing a suggestion once on like the main MFL Discord of, I think one of like the feature requests was being able to use MFL to place bets on games. Everybody was just like, no, that's going down a dark path. We wouldn't want to start doing that.
Yep. Ah, yes. The possibilities. But yeah, I'd be curious if the team ever commented on why they don't do that, or if we even can legally from that perspective. So I'm sure we have some smart people that can figure that stuff out.
Oh, I thought that, I didn't think we'd ever see them paying out cash for tournaments, because I thought that was potentially a line that could carry them over, the gambling realm, if people are sort of risking teams to potentially win money, but especially in France. But yeah,
they technically didn't give out cash though, because you couldn't withdraw it. They gave credits.
Yeah, no, that was, obviously that was the way around it, but
which makes it different. And as they say, like MFL to USD, GBP, they're not an exchange, so that may be a thing too, where if you assign a sort of value or use it as a negotiation tool, who knows? But I don't know. It would make my life a lot easier, though. I think it would make a lot of people happier if you're able to just make straight deals like that and you can keep track and order everything. It'd be fantastic.
What's the most packs you've had to send for a deal?
I mean, that deal with Scrub, I sent probably 290 to 300 packs in total. I opened
that would
all
hurt
of them.
me, even like it hurts me buying 10 common packs. I have to keep going back and saying, okay, have I got to 10 yet? And then they don't refresh, and I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake.
My wife is like, what is wrong with you? Because I'm counting out loud. I go 1, 2, 3. She's like, what is wrong with you? Like, I can't get past 10. So, and then like my brain would glitch. I'm like, oh, damn it. Like, what is happening here? But then I had to open them all, David, and then I had to put them all into the dev center, identify all the ones like of a certain age and put them in the dev center. So it was a feat, needless to say. I asked my wife if she wanted to do it. She's like, hell no. Like, don't blame you.
That's all of you, Bobby.
Yep. She's like, oh, hell no. Like, I can appreciate that. So
that's when you've got, have kids that you can be like, do you want to play this fun game? You click this button to this button and it pops up. Yeah.
Yep. But then going on floaty and like accepting all the offers too, like you start going cross-eyed at some point. You're just like, oh man, this sucks.
Yeah, it is interesting. I've noticed the floaty offers are showing up on the main MFL page now, which is a bit tricky. Yeah. So I had sent an offer for our club, my Portuguese hometown club that I've been trying to get for a long time now, and the guy's not on Discord. So I sent it on floaty, and then I sent it on MFL, figuring I can hit it from 2 angles. And then when I went into my offers sent, it showed up twice, the floaty version and the MFL version.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And the floaty version lasts, what is it, 30 days or something, compared to like a max of 7 on the MFL one.
Oh, it's the hard thing with floaty though too is like, what is your wallet address? And like your eyes are going squiggly, like when you're looking at it to make sure that people aren't trying to steal from you. But like, because that happens, right? When you see 250 offers of a penny, first off, and you realize the person is just clicking yes on all of them, there are random wallet addresses that just show up and you're like, well, this person's a dick. But it's never going to change. So never again though. So I've tried to make the deals a little bit more concise, a little easier to do, and I do it with people that I know. So having a way to make MFL transfers easier would be a big win, big user satisfier, I think, at least of this user. So
And see, we need to teach you how to airdrop, and then you don't need to bother with the offers.
oh man, yeah.
I really should learn that as well. People
crazy
win
to me,
back,
though,
I make
because
them pay a penny for them. A dollar, sorry.
You
it's
can
$10.
drop assets into other people's wallets like without their consent. So you just like you can just put all of your sub 45 OVR 30-year-old shitters into just as a practical joke.
But that's
whoever's wallet you want, which is crazy to me.
That's what me and Mr. Cage spoke about it, and then I don't know if you remember the Yorkshire Teeth from a while ago. We looked through players, and Root just had 15.
Oh, that's right. And during the pod, right, he was just like, "Who's this?"
Root had 15 35 to 45 rated players just appear at his most recent, and it was just from Mr. Case sending him players that he didn't want. Yeah.
Oh, I love it.
It's a good job. It's not easy to work out how to do it then. Well, I'm sure it is easy, but I don't want, because otherwise you'll just get people dropping like hundreds of players on people, won't you?
Oh man, I've sent like retirees how on the player page it says like 150 of like 162, like the retirement bit's still there. I've been sending some of my guys who are retired to just random wallets that don't have Discord, don't have anything, so they can't message me, and I'm just like, I don't want you. You can have them.
It's like MFL terrorism there, just calling everybody's wallets with shit you don't want.
The thing is, you won't see it unless you look at your retired players. So it's like it's even better. They'll just they won't, no notification, no nothing. You can just airdrop an absolute load of crap.
So you don't want retired players in your agency because you can tick the little box to get rid of them, can't you?
Yeah, but it's still OCD level. If you go on players, it says 100. Like for me, it says 165 of 170, and I'm like, well, why tell me I've got 5 dead guys? Just tell me I've got 165 out of 165.
You wait till you get to the level of me and Bob, and we've got so many dead guys. It's not funny. Part and parcel of the buying old guys is they're going to retire. I dread to think how many retired guys I've already got in my agency. But
yes,
Kev just said I airdropped a load of shite into Football Factory's account. That's fantastic.
Hang on, Football Factory's a mate of yours, Kev.
I love it. See, that's not this fun. So, but keep in mind, some of our users are old like me, and this is we're getting to the point where technology is going to outpace my brain, and I won't be able to keep up with it, and that's how I'm going to lose. It's go back to the rotary telephones, if you even know what that is, Hamez. But no, man, doing that would be fun. I think that honestly, you talk about retired players. I would love just a random tournament at the end of the season of people put together their retired players, and we'll see who's got the best retired players.
Well, it's going to be you, isn't it?
Of course. That's why I want to do it. I don't want to do it for you guys. I want to win. Just give me the old man, just make the trophy crutches and an old person's walker or scooter. And I will gladly take that every single season. I
do like all the stuff that MFL have done recently with the curling and the little Easter egg hunt. I mean, the Easter egg hunt, I spent an inordinate amount of time looking for eggs after I found a couple, and I just gave up. I thought I just can't find them. And the couple of the places Kev told me there were, and I was like, how the hell am I meant to find that? With no live games going on, how are you meant to find that one of the eggs was in the
tactics
formation or something I don't know.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm like, I go to Kev. I go, Kev, I'm old. I can't do this.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you're
Help
such an
me.
idiot. I'm an idiot. So, but yeah, I like those things. The curling was fun. It was a lot easier to use on my phone. And so
Yeah, on
I
the
got the first
desktop, it was a
victory
bit
and I was really
wonky.
proud of myself.
Yeah.
So, but I don't know. So I'm really curious, like outside of all this stuff, I know Hamez, you run 433A, David 433D. What are we finding to be good after the first day? Like, have we noticed any trends so far? Like, are there things that you're hearing people talk about in Discord or whatnot of formations that look fun from statistics?
Not so much the formations, but definitely the setups. Like, I've run a lot of friendlies and I speak to people that have run a lot of friendlies, and we all came to the same conclusion fairly early on about things that would work this season and things that you've spoke about, the way you've been playing for seasons, like Bob, like are really effective this season. And so it's going to be fun when a lot of people realize that that's a good way to play, and then people start to counter it like the second half of the season, and then people are going to complain that the engine's changed, whereas it's just people improving. And some people don't run friendlies, they just start the season. If things aren't going well, they change their tactics. And I guess like 40-50% of the user base play that way, and that's fine. And that's why it gets more difficult as the season goes on. But I don't really want to sort of talk about exact things that are working well just yet. I don't want to give away sort of like too many tips. But yeah, there are definitely things that are working, and things that you could, if you run a couple of friendlies or even like set up a couple of teams differently, you'll realize fairly quickly.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, because I have been running like 4-4-2 type formations, I haven't run a lot of stuff with wingers. And I know you guys run a lot of wingers. And I haven't really looked at the scores of those matches other than Andrew's game yesterday with Brass Boots, where there were
winger formations have been fun so far this season. Like my 4-3-3-D, I've played like a couple of other formations as well on other teams, but the 4-3-3-D has just been elite so far. But it's only elite when you're not being countered. And I don't necessarily mean like the formation, because it looks like it can do okay against all formations. It's how the team is set up, and I've yet to exactly work out how opponents have set up that have done okay against me. So that's going to be fun to work out, and I probably would have done that today, but we'll save that little treat for the weekend.
I found with the winger formations that I've been able to score a lot, but I give up a lot too. And a lot of the goals come from counterattacks, where just a ball just slips past my defense because my center back decides to like step up past the midfield for a ball he had no business going for, and that just leaves a breakaway. And I've been giving a ton of goals up like that, and I'm still trying to dial in exactly how to fix that.
Yep. Is that same for you, Hamez, with your 4-3-3-As?
Yeah, I mean 4-3-3. I mean, I've been running 4-2-4 with Belko because you could beat them and your team was stronger. So that was a nice sort of surprise that formation is doing something well. So I've been running that, and it means I need less midfielders, which is always
true.
Yeah. So that not
like I know that I'm going to end up, when it gets to like Titans and a lot of my cups, I'll run those winger formations to play with them myself. It's just, they're fun. I would love to, like, I'm already like imagining a 4-2-4 in Titans and just running wild and seeing what the hell happens. Letting Beckman just sit back and relax. And I don't know. I've been getting, so one of the things I'm struggling with, or at least I struggled with yesterday, is that people are scoring a lot of cutback goals against me. And it's not like the season 10 cutbacks where they just like go to the byline and cross it like all the way across the field. It's like guys are dribbling into the box, like even into the 6, and then they're just tapping it straight across, which makes perfect sense. It's logical and it's worked, but it doesn't feel cheap. So I'm actually liking the cutback kind of setup more than I have in the past. And I don't know if you guys have seen any of that or what.
There's definitely been a return, but it's felt a lot more balanced in terms of the variety of the goals.
Mm-hmm.
The cutbacks have come back, but these look more realistic to me than the cutback engine that we had a couple seasons ago.
Yeah.
And also, one of the other things I've noticed this season is the ball, like someone will put a cross in and, you know, someone will try and score, but the player on the line will be the person that clears it rather than the goalkeeper. And then it will bounce around the box. And I think actually, I mean, it looks a bit funky, but actually that's fairly realistic. If someone hits it and like it bounces around, I quite like that. But yeah, I've noticed a lot more of that this season.
There's been some new stuff. Like you saw the Brass Boot game yesterday, Bob. There was 2 goals back to back that I loved. One of them was a counter attack, but it was like almost like a fast break where they were just like quickly moving the ball, weaving through defenders, and it broke free, which typically you just kind of see guys going a straight line. And this one was just them like getting around defenders through passing. The next goal that was scored, it was a little bit of a breakaway. The guy was 1-on-1 with the keeper. He chipped the keeper, but the keeper got a piece of it. And then it went to in front of the goal line and stopped, and it was just a race to the ball, and the striker banged it in. I was like, I've never seen that before. So like there's definitely new goals types that are adding more variety to this.
Yeah, I see, and I'm liking that because in testing, what I was noticing is that there have been more rebound goals. So goalkeeper saving it and parrying it, and then somebody tapping it in, which happens in the real world. And in my diamond match against Sid, Lowe took a wide angle shot that my goalkeeper got his fingers on. You saw it actually slow down when it got to the keeper, but it still trickled into the net, which for reality's sake, I think that's pretty cool. And I love the updates. It feels, to your point, Andrew, more balanced when it comes to the type of goals being scored. Like there isn't just one way enforcing a meta. It's not like just cross the ball all the way across the field and just hope for a header. Although I'm not seeing headed goal. I didn't see as many headed goals yesterday. I saw more goals that are created when the ball switches fields at like midfield. And whenever a midfield switch happens, I'm like, oh crap, this is a goal or like a huge XG opportunity coming up. And I don't think that's changed too much.
Yeah, I think Ricky Hyde was saying he runs 1 million friendlies and has his analyzer tool, and you can see the breakdown of how goals are scored. And he was saying that header goals have gone down significantly.
Yep. And I tend to be seeing them more on corner kicks, more so than anything else, which again makes sense. Like that's where you're going to get them. So
We've got a few other people in the chat. We've got Yorkie Will in the chat. Yorkie Will. Hello, sir. York led stream has thrown you in here. Has that ended now? And that's why people are coming in here. I feel
gotcha.
Bad. But yeah, Yorkie, great to see you. I hope you're enjoying your start to the season. I noticed you bought some decent players, so I imagine you're probably doing okay in Spark. I haven't checked though yet. Josh Tilley's in here. Good evening, chaps. Good evening to you as well, sir. Also we got Dan LFC saying 3-4-3-D is overpowered this season. That's a test, but yeah, I haven't tested that yet. Yorkie Will wants to know, does anybody sell tactics like in a Discord somewhere? And then Sid saying, Yorkie, DM me on Discord, only 99p per instruction, 99 cents per instruction. But I mean, join more Discords. Like there's the Ramble Discord, Yorkshire XP talk about tactics a lot, and there's lots of other ones with people. But you know, people are sort of we're at the start of a new engine, and what you'll find, even the Yorkshire T-boys didn't particularly want to give away what was working early on in the season. And, you know, that's fair enough because, you know, especially the higher up you go, like Bruce is in silver, wanting to go up to gold. I'm in gold, you know, Big Mr. K's up in the top leagues. And then, you know, some of the other people that we have on the show are in the top leagues as well. We don't want to give away our tactics when we know that other managers that are definitely in those leagues, like Big Wilberts, etc., you know, are just going to listen to them and think, oh, that's interesting. Okay, so they play like that. So now I just need to work out how to beat that style. So, yeah, you have to be quite careful. But, yeah, you know, Yorkie, there are plenty of people that help you, especially as you're only you've only got one team in the lower league. But, you know, DM me, I'll help as well. I'm sure Sid will help. There's lots of people that will help you.
Yeah, Yorkie. I mean, and that's what's nice about this community. Like, we're willing to share tactics to a point. And, like, if you're not in Diamond, like, I'm not going to share my tactics with Big Will or Dio because that'd be stupid. I mean, I openly talk about my tactics and what I do in Diamond enough that it is stupid. But I can give you a base of, like, kind of like how I do some things at certain levels that tend to work. And then it's like you have to understand what your players are good at and how they're good. So we'll go back to the 4-3-3 kind of setups when you have wingers. You want to prioritize their best stats. If they're a great passer, you set them up differently than if they're a great shooter, if they're fast. Like you can do different setups for those things to really prioritize what makes them more effective. And then you just run friendly after friendly to see if it actually works. So, yep. So, how are your matches going so far today, Hamez? I know you just woke up, but are you winning?
Yeah, I think won most apart from the iron one, which is always nice. And then Sid's pressuring me in our chat about setting for the CSK game, which is always nice to get added on pressure from the team boss. But
What
look,
division are Gen I in?
the one with you and Kev.
Oh, okay. I shouldn't worry about that. That's my min-loaded Monkey side. I think the best they could fit. They've finished bottom by a distance this season.
Sid, that team's fourth projected, I think, and we beat Kev yesterday, who was third. So that was a big result.
Ooh.
So I was like, I don't want to change what's not broken. And Sid's like, what are we running today? What are we changing? And I'm like, it's not broken. Like, leave it. But
which Kev team did you beat? Is that Retro Degens?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, 2-0.
Kev always has that team set up well. So that's a really impressive win.
Yeah, and they're slightly stronger as well. But it's quite funny because obviously, like with Castle, you just left me, and I would give you updates after every game or every other game. It's a tweaker. But
I'm a lot more hands off when I delegate teams down. Like, I mean, Andrew will tell you the same thing. Like, Andrew is like, hey, good game yesterday. I'm like, yep, that's about it. Like, that's all we do.
Yeah.
And, like, usually when the mid-season comes up, I'm like, do you need anybody? Because I'm going to move some things around. It's like, okay, cool. That works. So,
but I don't watch Iron and above games anymore. They go better when I don't watch. So
Oh, you don't watch them? I'm too much of a control freak. I need to see what went wrong so I can try to fix it.
yeah. And I can tell you, Andrew, like I have this left wing on my Iron team or something like that shouldn't be on Iron. That probably mid-season I'll probably end up giving them to you. And then you run 287 wingers.
Yeah. Is that you trying to pry Sam off the team again?
Oh yeah, I'll take Sam back because he's my boy, and I was just talking about him so lovingly.
Yeah, no, it's been fun. It's been a pleasure getting to run Raspberry with the past couple of years too. It's always that Iron League that I was in last season or 2 seasons ago. That Hamez was in, and Bruce and a couple others. Snake was in there, so that was fun. Now I think in this season, SLD is also in the league, so it's fun now as you start to go up, and the number of leagues at each level is shrinking. So you start to recognize a lot more names. Because for the longest time, I never played with anybody I knew. So I think I'm in a league with Kev for the first time in an Iron League this year. So it's good to, especially to start, talking to people in the community. You actually know who you're playing against, and you can, talk shit a little bit. And so it's been fun.
Are we in a league together, Andrew?
No, I don't think I've ever been in a league with you.
Oh,
wait, maybe. Hold on. I don't think we are. I'm going to take a look through really quickly.
Are we going to put a game on in a bit?
I mean,
main game on.
I'm guessing that we should probably put on mine and Ronan's game for Diamond, right?
Yeah. Let me just set it up. Fiddle around.
Rasputin's kicking off right now. If we want to throw that one on.
Woo.
But as much as I complained last season, you can definitely tell the difference with these flipping long balls going from zigzagging around the pitch. The game looks a lot better.
Yeah, it's a lot more fluid. But the only gripe I have is that there seems to be too many breakaways that get behind the defense. But that just might be me not setting up my teams correctly. I feel like I've seen a disproportionate amount of those.
So I actually posted about that. And I think, as I said to you, I'm like, how the hell do I stop this? Because even if I'm set up in a low block and I'm compact, I don't want my guys going past midfield. My center backs, they're just pushed up so far, and guys are just freely running behind them. And they're not fast enough to keep up with the strikers. I'm like, what are you guys doing? Your job is to stop the goals. You're not going to score the goals. Why on earth is my CB, who is retiring, like Llewellyn, why is he trying to score a goal over Beckman? Like, come on, dude. Like, there's a reason you haven't been on this team before because you do this kind of stupid stuff.
Yeah,
So-
I have guys that are jumping out of position too. So I had one where the ball was lost on the right wing. There were two strikers at midfield. Both my center backs were marking them. The guy that lost the ball on the right wing sent it to his attacking midfielder, which was right in front of those strikers. And one of my center backs left his striker to go and press up on him, but he was nowhere close.
Yeah.
He was halfway to him, and then the ball just got passed to the guy he vacated, and then he was just jailbreak for the rest.
Yeah.
So those I have no idea how to stop. I've experimented on low freedom. I've experimented on low block. I've changed the line depth. Like, I don't know what else to do.
Yep. And honestly, I think those kind of goals, they're realistic. Like, someone makes a mistake, like one mental mistake like that, and a goal is scored. Like, that's where we get them from. So we don't see, as we talked about before, all of the correct decisions that they made that didn't result in a goal, but we see the ones that they screw up. And I agree with you, though. I'm like, what on earth are you thinking here? You know, because leaving a guy wide open in the middle has never been a good idea.
Right.
Ever. Right? Like, unless you're Pepe and you're going to like bash into somebody with your head. Like, that's probably not a good idea either. But I don't know. And I don't know how to stop those things. And those are the pieces that seem a lot more random when they happen. It's like, okay, that shouldn't happen, but it did. So, like, how do I fix it? Because that's always what's going through my head of how do I stop this from happening? And then when I message a bunch of tactical people that are really smart, they have no idea either. There's like, you just got to hope it doesn't happen. And like, that's not a good approach.
Yeah. I found that most of my games, like I don't feel comfortable with any win until it's over, because it doesn't matter what the lead is. It just feels like at any point the other team can just turn around and start scoring goals. So especially with the winger formations, I routinely score 4 or 5 goals, and it's still like hold your breath till the end and hope you win.
Yeah. I mean, your game was a great example of that yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
On the stream, I've got Chennai versus Beauty up. So that goes live in, 2 minutes? But Beauty look like a decent side, actually. No pressure.
It's fine. I turn the stream up. I won't watch the stream here. It's fine.
Our boy Sim scored, Andrew.
He did? Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Never in doubt.
Nope.
Anytime I see goals
you have
there,
him on PKs. Yes.
What's that?
You have him on PKs.
Oh, I do, yeah.
That's fantastic.
Whenever, like, especially when I'm watching friendlies, if I have to go back and I can't watch it live, when I see goals scored at the bottom, it's either Sim or Connor. It's one of those two guys.
Yep. Oh, I love it. Makes me very, very happy. Yeah, your team has been a lot of fun to watch. So 4-3-3 attack.
They're an exciting bunch.
Well, we can do.
And you've got this weird combo in the back of Toledo, David, is one of the first center backs that I bought that we started talking about short kings for me.
I sort of remember that, yeah, because you bought him and you were like, why is he not defending well? And we're like, oh, maybe because he's short. I don't know. But
yep, he's now up to 86 and he's 5'3". And
he's also got 43 pace. So when you were talking about that left back earlier, I had considered moving him to center back and weakening my fullbacks because of how slow he was. But I was just like, but he's such a good defender. I just got to figure out how to make it work.
Yep. And so I'm just looking right now. You have that fast left back right next to Toledo to cover up and make up for his mistakes.
Yeah.
So see, that's the kind of stuff that we're talking about, like how you're playing in there and you're trying to set yourself up. So, yes, there's all these little pieces that, and this is kind of for Yorkie, like there's all these little things that you notice and that you'll learn over time how to set up to make it. Holy cow, George Sim is really good. How to make it better for you. And so, did you see that, Andrew?
Yeah, I was just watching as you were talking.
Yep. Yeah. So, but yeah. So, I don't know. How did Belko do today? Hamez?
3-1 loss against a stronger team.
Yeah.
So
still with that
mid-table. Yeah, mid-table's their aim.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which
I have a question for you guys. I haven't made up my mind yet on what I think the answer is. On 2 striker setups, let's say you have a left footer and a right footer. Do you put left on left, right on right, or do you switch them? Because I've been starting to switch them more, and I feel like I'm getting better results, but I don't know.
I think
I
that's
switched.
one of those recency bias things, isn't it? Where you could put them over, just
Yeah.
switch them, and then they start to do better. But I've never
Personally,
really thought about it. But
I personally switched them because I want to be scoring in the way the engine is set up right now. You're going to be scoring more from the middle, like not far off. And I'd rather my dominant foot be closer to where I want to be taking the shots from.
Yeah, that's
So-
generally where I've landed on it, but I'm not convinced on it yet.
So if you watch Soul at all, Beckman is always on the left side.
Yeah.
Always.
Yeah.
I will not play him on the right side. And then
Ekman's a left foot.
he's a right-footed.
Oh, he's a right. Okay, sorry. Yeah.
So I want him shooting in. So basically, like same with my wingers, I want my wingers cutting in and taking a shot with their right foot if they're on the left wing, is what I want if I'm not crossing. So I'll mix and match what I'm doing. And another thing to think about, Andrew, with the 4-3-3-A, based on how you're going to score and what the meta is, if you have a left-footed and a right-footed center mid, which way are you setting them up? Because if it's going to be a wide season, I want my left-footed center mid on the left side to go wide to get out to my left wing. And if it's a narrow and tight shooting kind of situation where I want closer shots, I'm going to switch them up so they can pass in with their dominant foot.
Yeah. The center mids, I have the strikers and the wingers. I always put a lot of thought into. I always forget the center mids and the pairing that I have there too.
Yep. So that's what I do. Does it work? I mean, I've won some titles. It doesn't mean it works. My players might just be good, So, take everything I say with a grain of salt because having Beckman as a treat code. So, like, I may not actually be good at this at all. I just happen to have the best players.
Right. Yeah. The funny thing is when I have like if I'm playing a 2-striker setup and I have 2 right-footed players, then it's like, well, is one side the better side? And I'm trying to figure out which player do I want to put on each side.
Yep. I always put my best player, which is Beckman,
On
that left side there.
Yeah.
So
CSK flying, yeah.
Yeah, and I got shouted at for not setting them up properly. So yeah.
yeah, CSK is good, man.
They're playing a team that's equally as good as them, and they're absolutely cooking them.
Oh, I should probably check out my other teams. Have you started yet?
4-4-2 is pretty strong.
Yeah, 4-4-2 I think is pretty strong this season.
So I haven't been able to dial in the defense in the 4-4-2 though. Or I just happen to be playing Sid, who has a really high potent offense, and that's the result. So I don't know.
We can do Sid's part that he always likes doing of matching a manager with an IRL manager to an MFL manager, but he's not here, so we are switching it over and we are matching an MFL manager to an IRL manager, and we're doing Sid today because he's not here. so David, who would you say Sid is most like as an IRL manager?
I don't want to build up his ego too much, but when I'm thinking about a manager that makes a lot of tactical decisions and makes a lot of changes for opponents and does lots of funky stuff and like keeps people guessing on exactly how they're going to play, Pep came to mind. He's played different formations. He's not opposed to, even this season, to, playing like 2 strikers up top with Cherky in behind or playing wingers, and he really rotates. And obviously he's been successful. It's been
One of Barcelona's best managers. Yeah.
He's been pretty successful wherever he's been, to be fair, hasn't he? But
you can stroke his ego. I'll be more brutal because I gave him Phil Parkinson.
That came to mind, honestly, when I was thinking about how quickly he rose, got his teams promoted up the pyramid. So that one came to mind.
Wrexham's manager, renowned for having quite a strong team for the division he's in.
that's fair, but he often he will always play the same way. So I think you need to build a little bit like that in there. And on the flip side, Pep as well. I mean, it could be argued that he's always had the best side in the division. Wherever
So
he's been.
exactly. So Phil Parkinson and Pep sort of merge.
Yeah.
I thought about both those guys. I went away from Pep, and sorry, Sid, I don't mean this to be an insult, but until he wins Diamond, you got to win at the top level. So he's won Titans, but you got to win the title at the top before I give you the Pep title. So I went with, and this is not the greatest example, but I went with Claudio Ranieri, just the Tinkerman, someone who's always just messing around with the squads, adapting to his team, not sure what you're going to get from game to game, but had a lot of success, won a lot of cups. Obviously, won with Leicester about a decade ago. So that was my
league,
pick.
didn't he? Though.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, so that one went against me, but Pep won the league a lot. So, and it's been a decade since Ranieri won, at that level.
Yeah, I like the tinkerer aspect. I like that with Ranieri. I don't like playing Sid because I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah,
and
I hate playing
he
Sid.
seems to really show up in the big matches and gives you a real headache. And I don't know. I mean, he's such a mix for me. Sid with the tinkering, and maybe it's just because he frustrates me when I play him that I think of him as like Diego Simeone, but that's not how he plays the game, And I think that one of Sid's things is that he has the ability to go super offensive or middle of the road. And I think that the tinkering, why Ranieri makes a lot of sense in my head. The tinkering aspect to that and never knowing what it's going to be until it's there, and then it feels like it switches a lot. That's why I like the Ranieri setup there. And yeah, you got to win Diamond before you're going to be Pep. You can win Cup. Cup is huge. Cup is tough, but there are a lot of good Cup managers that are out there. So until we get there, I can go with the Ranieri. Yeah, I was thinking, Scolari, but maybe that's just my Portuguese bias, and pissing people off and doing all the things. So
there you go, Sid. So you're going to have to win the title to be called Pep. But and Dollar Clubs makes a good point. He said Pep has done really well with world-class teams wherever he's been. Oh, and I would love this as well. He would love to see how he would do with the mid-table team.
I mean, Liverpool could do with them then, couldn't they? They need their manager next season.
Yeah,
mid-table.
I don't know. Alonso, please. I'd like Alonso.
Yeah, I mean,
Spurs.
So I would say that I don't know that comment is fair. Our first season in Diamond, Sid had a very mid-table team, if not low-table team, projection-wise, and he finished third. So Sid came through hard with the tactics and fought, and it was, to me, really, really impressive. So I think that Sid can make magic happen with what he has and the tools that he has there. So I wouldn't I don't know if that's fair.
Which of you guys has got a gold team this season?
So I know Big Mr. K is managing my Black Sea team. And they are playing right now against a team that has scored more goals and is playing a 4-3-3-A. So
there we go. I'll get that one live then. Kicking off right now.
Black Sea United. And my silver team is going right now, but that's no fun. So playing Big Wilbert. So yeah. Yeah, this Black Sea team, this is in my eyes, at least a platinum level team. So,
it was strong. He was showing it on their pod this week, and it's a good team.
Well, it didn't start off as strong, and we've made a lot of moves and changes, and a lot of those MFL deals that I made ended up filtering a lot of guys to this team, which has certainly helped a bit. And you really need the scoring threats, especially in gold and plat and higher up. So I think that we've set him up pretty well. I don't know who he's starting up front today.
Botero and Colub.
Yep. So you've had Botero before.
Yeah, the season where strikers were awful. I had him. Yeah.
Yep. Exactly.
But he's a brilliant striker. He'll score boatloads.
Yeah, I think Botero won me a golden boot in silver last season, maybe with Saltine.
Yeah, 99.
Yeah. But yeah, all of these matches are going to be pretty even, no matter where you are and how strong your teams are. So 4-4-2B Man, that is not a formation I've ever run, so it's fun to watch to see what's happening. I'm not a CDM kind of guy.
Let's see. Is there anything I'd note down that we've not talked about? Any progression so far? Any fresh guys that do started off well, or any guys hoping to have breakout seasons? Because we've had
For me,
I
I
had
have
a
one
couple
guy I'm
tradings.
excited about. I packed an 80 rated 20-year-old goalkeeper last season, and he was +2 in the first season. And I noticed after the game today, he got another +1. So +3, 2 games into his second season. I'm excited to see what that can turn into too, because I have a bunch of oldies at the top for goalkeepers. So it'd be nice to have someone that hopefully can ascend and be my top goalkeeper for a long time.
Those are so satisfying.
Yeah, I was excited.
Yeah, I have a 21-year-old goalkeeper that I packed. I put him in the dev center because I'm a dick. But he's up to 84 now. He got 3 in his first season. So we'll see what happens.
Nice. That's awesome. How much does the MFL cost for a player like that for the dev center?
49K maybe.
Oh shit. That's outrageous.
If you win iron twice, 2 times in a row, and you don't spend any, you can do it, I guess.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I can put one of my starters in dev center for 4 years. You can watch him.
I mean, he'll be 25 when he comes out. You put him in for 4 more years. He'll be 29 when he comes out. So
No, if he becomes a Lego, because I don't think you can put Legos in the dev.
no, you can't.
So yeah. So you'd want no progression for 3 years, so you can put him back in.
Nope. He's just gonna sit there. Like I need him to be. I need him to max out what he can, because to your point, Andrew, like this is the kind of guy that you hope can get to 90 and keep running. So
I'm just having a look. Retro Degens, they got the win tonight. Funky Monkey got smacked as it should be.
yeah.
Black Sea United are losing at the moment. Come on.
Yeah, long way to go. Long way to go. So, but yeah, solid win for Brass Boots. They're just they're fun to watch.
Off to a good start.
Yep. Gloob.
I like that I've got the 4-3-3D back too, because last season I just couldn't get it to work, and I needed to rely on being able to rotate into it to give the camera rest, and I just couldn't get it to work effectively last season. But this season it's working well, so I like that I kind of have both those tools in the bag now to pull out with Brass Boot, along with the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow.
Yeah, the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow. I mean, I've only seen Ronan using it so far, and it seems to be working. I mean, he smashed yesterday, but then again, it's Ronan's team, and it is what it is. But it's just a matter of offense and defense, and I don't know. The defense is going to be the big thing. I think a lot of updates. So, and unfortunately, I have to step away real quick, guys. Sorry about that. So I know that we have my game coming up soon. So
it's all right. Jim was losing his game. Yeah.
Oh, the Wyverns.
Yeah, there's 2 minutes to go.
They won yesterday, didn't they? Absolutely smacked Blades. Was it 7-0?
Yeah.
Oh, that was beautiful.
But Blades has got his new Norwich team that he bought, and then Jimbo bought a Norwich team about 2 days later. So
yeah.
Ramble are winning apparently, 3-1 up.
Anything else that I had?
Back in a sec.
How is Ramble looking this year, projection wise? Are they a strong team for the league?
I think we might be mid-table. What league are they in?
Shit, I don't even know. I don't look this up.
It's what's Jimbo's one? I was just on it.
Ramble MFC.
Silver 4.
Yeah.
Silver forwards. They are
8th.
Yeah, so Toby's got his work cut out there.
Yeah. It's got a good supporting cast, though. Ramble always
Yes,
seems
and
to rise to the occasion.
Is there only 11 teams in the league? Yeah.
Oh, okay. So this is.
So,
I reckon there's a couple teams there that were in my league last season that got promoted. Okay, so this is the league above one of my teams.
Who have they played? They've played Sal Crago, who is where? Sal Crago. They played the team who were projected 10th, and Catalana. Where are the Catalana? Okay, so they've played the two teams below them, but good to beat them.
Those are points you need, yeah.
Yeah, and those are the ones that you need to beat to stand up.
Oh, bloody hell. Oh, Black Sea United back in it.
Can't wait till breakfast.
You can tell that the weather's improved in the UK over the last few days because my eyes are absolutely murdering me. I don't know what it is. Like, as soon as that hay fever. Oh, God.
Big 10 degrees in London at the moment.
Well, yeah, but it was nearly 30 degrees yesterday.
Yeah, but that's because you're such a southerner. You get the warm weather.
Yeah, because when we were recording, I think it was snowing on Monday for Hoodwink or something.
Yeah.
Getting warmer down here.
It's Edinburgh had snow over the weekend because Hearts played Livingston and when they drew, and there was potential snow.
Brutal goal!
But 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 of the Edinburgh are expecting heavy rain 6 of the next 10 days. So,
are you waiting until it warms up then, till you come back over?
I mean, it warms up. It's going to be 15 degrees when I'm there, if that. So.
Well, I thought, when do you get over from Australia?
Start of next season.
Okay, yeah. How long are you going to be
next
for?
A couple of years, I think, maybe. before trying to leave again. You know, there's a reason why no one from England or no one in this game has come up north because you just don't bother.
I think there's going to be a meetup, isn't there, in July in Scotland? It's probably the best time to go up there.
Yeah, I jokingly said it should be in Inverness, which is as north as you can go because the England one is as south as you can pretty much go. So it's like
I've been to Inverness. Yeah. Had a night out in there. Had a night out in Aberdeen as well.
We can go further north than that, though. We can go Shetlands. We can go Shetlands. We can get a ferry to get there.
Big Mr. K in the chat saying you're getting shafted here. That was a brutal second goal that you conceded.
I'm not watching. Oh. Yeah. There we go.
Come on, get the point. 5 minutes of added time.
Any progression from today's games? Just 1. 1 plus 1, but you had 3 stat increases.
Oh wow.
Not bad.
Take that,
Not bad. My centre back who was in the staff league last season is 64 in tier jail already, which is quite nice. He's gone up plus 10 in a season in 2 games.
Yeah, that's incredible. Is there a staff league this season, or did they do away with it?
They didn't bother, which is a shame because it was probably my most enjoyable thing last season.
Yeah, I still like the idea of a common only league, even if it's not outside of the pyramid. Just give guys, more of those players, an opportunity to play at their level.
Yeah. All right, big game has started. Meta Mercenaries on the left, Bob's Soul Iron Pigs on the right.
I see. Bob's game's just kicking off. Explains why I had to nip away.
I was going to say, is he in the bathroom right now?
I'm here.
Sitting on the throne.
I would say that's why you nipped away, though. You did your pre-game sort of.
Oh, Kovacs gets the early goal.
Yuck. Yuck. First shot, first goal.
The 4-1-3-2 definitely isn't as strong as last season.
Nope.
I found it to be a bit erratic. Like I'm scoring with it, but I'm also giving up a lot with it too. Maybe that's just the case for most of the formations in this engine.
Yeah, there doesn't seem to be a stopgap for anything.
Yeah.
But I mean, I feel like this engine is going to be set up pretty well for Ronan and how he plays. So we'll see. I mean, I was also not the best team against Sid yesterday too. So anything can happen.
We'll see how quick his opinions change from this game's ass to this game's good again. How many games into the season does it take? How many wins in a row?
Yep, there's a goal. I mean, yeah, it is what it is. I'm actually really curious about the game with Brian and Sid. That's a tough matchup there. Big win.
Brian historically loves setting up defensively, doesn't he?
Oh, yeah.
I know he's been doing lots of testing, but
yeah. Tell you what, Ronan's offense is clicking. I could get drubbed this game. Absolutely drubbed.
You just wait till you get your yearly center half sent off against him, and you'll get smacked again. You seem to always like getting your center half sent off against him.
Yeah, that didn't work out too well for me before. So he's peppering the shots. At least I have the ball this time. So. Oh, I don't. That's a goal.
Ooh.
Jeez. Oh, man. Well, yeah, I don't know. I think that overall, so I saw that Black Sea got nipped out there.
Yeah, the goals looked like I didn't notice the first goal, but the second goal was like brutal defensive.
Yeah,
the ball guy got caught on the ball, and I think we'll see that loads this season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but you know, when teams high press, they do score goals that way, don't they? So,
yeah, that is. I mean, a lot of the goals are scrappy, no matter what you're going to do about it. But looks like Kev got a goal back. That's good. Brian and Sid are playing a very Brian and Sid type of game.
Yep. Another corner for Sid though.
Man, 4-4-1 for Sid. Interesting. I think for both Brian, or for Sid and Kev.
Some insider chatting going on then.
Yeah, I guess so. Huh?
Yeah. Missed the memo. You and Brian are both 4-1-3-2s.
Yeah. Well, we give Brian some offensive tools, and Brian's scary.
Yeah.
This could have been this could have been the season.
How did I miss that? That should never, ever happen. Oh man, that's a -5 BCM on So Rare. Oh Jesus! Well, 2-0.
It's just too easy. It's too easy.
Like, what are we doing, Quinza? Like, you're passing it back in the middle of so goals like that make no sense to me.
The positioning is all off too. Like I think the Yorkshire boys are explaining it well. They're supposed to act as a unit. Like you're watching a game, there's a line of 4 players. They move up and back together. They're passing off players. It just seems like every one of these players is doing their own individual thing, and they're leaving big gaps. They're leaving unattended players. Like it's a mess with how they're setting themselves up.
I mean, the defensive engine is terrible. I mean, I get that, but like he literally just passed it to Ronan, and Ronan just kicked an easy ball in. Like, you know, I don't know. But granted, if Beckman's going to miss a 1v1 like that, then I'm in trouble no matter what we're going to do. And I can't be too mad because I stole the win from Sid yesterday.
Yeah.
The Magic got slapped by Ronan. So You won't be alone if you lose this, Bob.
Yeah, it's basically whoever wins the matchups with me and Ronan is who's going to be better off in the engine this season. And this looks like a Ronan season to run a little bit here.
Sid'll be so happy he's not on today because he'll be smashing his head against the wall how he's not scored.
Yep. Have any direct free kicks gone in at all this season?
I've not
Nope.
seen any, no.
They just
There's
They
been
just hit
there's
the
been
wall.
one
We saw one.
Yorkshire
Yeah.
there's one in the Yorkshire Tea that's good because Bruce did a competition of first person to find a free kick goal wins, and someone found one.
Yeah, I'm yet to see one. In all the friendlies I've run, in all the games so far, I haven't seen one yet.
That's why I would rather have the instruction of just don't shoot, play it
Yeah.
short, keep the ball.
Yep. Yeah, it's interesting. I'm not used to Beckman just kicking it right into the wall. Maybe they're showing like that's what Cristiano Ronaldo does all the time now that he's old. What?
They don't all hit the wall though. They hit a few spectators as well.
Yeah, that's
There you
true.
go.
That's very true.
Oh,
Man.
wow.
Sid's going to be going crazy if he doesn't sneak a goal here.
He's had 10 shots blocked. He's had so many quid off the line.
Yep, that's what Brian does. Pack the middle, dude.
And now the tactical change from Brian comes in to solidify the 0-0.
All right, I can take a 2-0 loss to Meta. I mean, I can't. I'm dying on the inside a little bit, but what are you going to do?
Oh, unlucky, mate.
Yeah, it's a tough
It
one.
feels like they rotate the seasons.
There we go.
You and
Shit
Rome.
happens when you're party naked, dude.
You weren't
Sid
completely
got-
out of it.
There you go.
Sid
Sid
got-
got his goal.
Yeah, how was it scored again? Right back.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll pretend we didn't see the cross.
That's okay. I mean,
Mm.
oof. I mean, he's putting on all the pressure. I'm wondering how Brian has set up his defensive 4-1-3-2 because it's impressive.
I mean, there's nothing out of the ordinary when you watch a Brian game and the goalkeeper gets man of the match for him on his team.
Yeah.
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 But he doesn't have Valverde.
No, he doesn't. Who's he using? Route this season, I think.
Yeah, work the spaces boy that popped this
My
season.
guy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I need to work out. So I'm probably not going to have a chance tomorrow, but on Saturday and Sunday, I need to work out what the counters are to the formations that I've been playing because I tend to do really well in some matches, and then other matches where people play. Like I've noticed 4.
Oh, Brian.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Poor Sid.
What's the score now? I've got Kev's game up.
Oh, it's
Brian-
1-1. Brian
Brian's
just
nicked
scored
a
on the last
goal.
kick of the game.
Oh,
0.5 versus 3.37 for expected goals.
And Big Will just snuck a potential win off of Kev, too.
yeah, he did. Yeah.
Man, oh man. Wow. Hard done. Hey,
Monkey Fire.
That's it.
I think I'm just watching their game now. 5-0 up at the moment.
oh. Yeah, Diamond's going to be intense. No matter what we do, as long as somebody beats Ronan. That's the big if.
Yeah, 4-1-2-1-2 narrowed feels like a good formation, but there's got to be a counter to it. I need to find out what it is because I'm playing it. A lot of people are playing it.
I haven't quite worked that one out yet. It's been a bit erratic for me, so I'm still trying to work through it.
It's hard to say it's good when you're only watching Ronan play it.
Yeah.
No, I've played. Another couple of people have played it this evening against me, and they've done quite well. They didn't win that. Well, one of them didn't win the game, but they did quite well against it.
Yeah.
Root plays it.
Yeah, Root beat me. In fact, Root beat me in Preseason Cup 4-0 against my team. That was admittedly I hadn't really set the team up, but still a 4-0 win against my team, which was slightly better overall. So yeah, there's definitely decent.
In my Iron game, I was just looking at the league that I'm in with Kev, It was a 4-3-3A versus a 4-3-3A. Final score was 7-4. I had 23 shots, 17 on target. I had 16 shots, 7 on target. Expected goals was roughly like 4-2. So it's just a goal fest. There's no defense in these 4-3-3A matchups.
Yeah. Well, that was a fun game, fun week. See if we
Yes.
get progression for these
I'm lucky,
matches.
Kev. You see, yeah.
Wow. Man,
Anymore.
it is, progression is slow. And granted, my players are a little higher now, but
I mean,
And you got the
I want progression to be slow until the cups groups are finalised. Then they can fly after that.
that's true. That is true.
Look, I'll pull up the rankings. This was pulled last night for the cup rankings based on best 11 OVR. At the moment, Meta Mercenaries are ranked 1, and then basically the top 4. Who's squeezing into the bottle? Is Sid's Blue Man team? Have they gone down? Oh, they're still in there.
yeah, no, yeah, Men and Boy are there.
Yeah. Have I managed to squeeze out of here? Yeah. So currently, I'm in Elite 2 with Saltine Warriors. In fact, that would be a really fun cup if that sets that way, because we've got Bob's in there. I'm in there. Pretty sure Kev was in there unless he's changed around. Am I going blind?
Or CSK in the top one.
Oh, Retro Degens are in there, yeah.
What's CSK's like? Is this based on best 16?
No, it's best 11 for the cups. CSK
is 971. So maybe that's Elite 3 or something.
971 is Contender 1, I think.
Oh, okay.
This was done last
Yeah,
night, so
yeah.
Oof, good times. Good times.
yeah, it's going to be fun
Well,
tomorrow. I'll run this again tonight, but yeah, it's quite useful.
so who is Black Sea in Titans right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Black Sea, what's the... Oh, yeah, they are.
They're
Second worst as it stands. Well, this was done last night.
Yeah.
But as it stands, they are the second worst team in Titans.
Nice.
But if, like, you know, a couple of the teams below them get progression, then they would become the best team in Elite 1. Or if you nerfed them, like they become...
Yeah, but I don't do that. I'm not a big fan of stacking or nerfing teams to get into different cups. So just not for me.
Yeah, so it's going to be fun doing that. But, you know, Black Sea United, as long as they don't get drawn in the group with a group of Meta Mercenaries, they could do okay.
You know, you steal some points here and there. You have fun with it. See what you can do. So, but, yep. Well, Diamond didn't go as we expected and hoped.
Yeah.
But we move on to another day. Any other items you wanted to talk about, Hamez?
I think I'm done. I think we spoke through most of it. So
Awesome.
Thanks for Andrew for coming on. Thanks David for co-hosting.
Awesome.
And, yeah, we're back to Friday next week. I think got quite a couple big hosts, a big guest, which
couple of big hosts. Fuck you.
Well, I mean, like, I don't know if we could say, like, we're rumored to be having the Panthers on as a guest, so it's like the Ramble are big, but the Panthers has got quite a bit of a bigger.
I didn't hear you teasing me last week in last week's show, so I don't know. Feel a little hard done by here.
I don't know if I'd asked you by this time last week. To be fair,
It's true.
like last week was just kind of try and get through it and then go back to bed.
Need a bridge to nap.
Yeah. But yeah. I don't know if you want to do the outro again as Jimbo did, or
yeah, we'll do. Yeah, if you want me to. Dollar Club asking what site it was for the cup stuff. It's not on a site. It's just a bit of script that someone's written that you can run, but I'm pretty sure they won't want everybody running it because otherwise it has to scrape the site and it takes hours to do it. So, but yeah, it is quite a fun little thing. If they can work out a way to do it, it's quite, it's just fun. Like, as Bob said, I'm not really making changes for some of my teams, but if one is really on a line, then maybe I'll consider it. But obviously,
on NFL Assistant, there's a page where you can go into each division and it shows you like the percentiles, but you can go through and there's like bar graphs and it shows you the teams in order. So if you did the first, obviously there's 12 teams in Diamond. If you just go down, you can probably figure it out by looking at the plat teams where that line's going to be.
The trouble is when they're like, that's fine at the top, but when you go lower down, there's people that have like, legendaries in ice, which sort of throw everything around. Like if you look at this table here, then you've got like some Div 2 sides, but you've also got some Div 3 sides. But sorry, Div 3. I don't know what is in here as Div 3, but obviously we're talking about gold. So you've got gold sides in the Titans. So it just
makes sense. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. But it's been a fun show. Unfortunately, we haven't got the results we all wanted. It looks like most of our main teams have lost. But yeah.
And as an update, Beckman only down to 96.
That's not bad. That's not bad.
It's the recovery which is the problem when they get to the red tombstone, isn't it? It's like they take so bloody long. But
we'll see what it looks like.
Yeah, that's pretty good though.
So next week, as Hamez says, there'll be professionals hosting this show. So I'll see you sometime in the future, maybe. But to get out of here, we'll play the intro again. And we'll be back soon. Bye.
Yo. It's Thursday night. Game time. You know it's going to be tight. Welcome to the show. It's the place to be. Get your popcorn ready. Let's set the scene. Yo. James on the mic, bringing heat to the stage. Got Kevin Bryan with that tactical gauge. Analyzing plays, breaking it down. In the world of MFL, we're rocking this town. Bob and Sid, trophy shining bright. Standing side by side, ready for the fight. Squads lined up, battles about to ignite. When the whistle blows, we'll shine through the night. The good brings the glory. Hey. The bad holds the pain. Hey. The ugly shows the struggle. Hey. But we still love the game. Hey. From the highs to the lows. Hey. It's a hell of a ride. Hey. In this game of life, we stand side by side. SR Monkeys here, co-host with the plan. His insights undeniable, got the fans demand. When it comes to trophies, few compare. In the League of Champions, we're all laid bare. Analyzing stats while sipping on some brews. With the mics live, we're dropping straight news. From the chaos on the field to the cheers in the stands, we dissect every play, that's how this fam stands. Yeah. The good brings the glory. Hey. The bad holds the pain. Hey. The ugly shows the struggle. Hey. But we still love the game. Hey. From the highs to the lows. Hey. It's a hell of a ride. Hey. In this game of life, we stand side by side. So grab your seats. It's time for the show with laughter and insight. We're ready to go to the final score. We'll break it all down. There's always more in store. James, Kevin, Brian, the crew's in sync. When we're talking MFL, you won't need a drink. Just sit back, relax, enjoy the play call. Together in the game, we're united, standing tall. The good brings the glory. The bad holds the pain.